How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Obviously, we are here with the Battle Association Week 2 review and Week 3 preview. Obviously, I am your Commissioner IncogM, and I'm here with Tori.
Dab.
Gosh darn it. And just to recap for the first week of action, which I will just give you guys a lowdown, here is your standings. Of course, I will leave all of the Week 1 matches and Week 2 matches in the description. This is very important. We did not upload last week, unfortunately, because I had a family emergency. It's a family thing going on, so I could not upload. Most people know this. If you don't keep up with me on social media, now you're in the know. So that's why you didn't get to see a Week 1 review and Week 2 preview. With that being said and done, the standings are still in front of you, of course. So let's dive into this week of action and how it unfolded. Excuse me. First off, we had the Twin Leaf Teddy Ursus beat my team, the Sub-Zero Syndicals, 3-0. Grizzy, aka the Twin Leaf Teddy Ursus, bringing the Landorus Therian, Landorus Therian, Thunderous Therian, the Togekiss, the Halucha, the Tornadus Therian, and the Celesteela. And I brought the Haxorus, Kyurem, Naganadel, Gudra, Kamo, and Zygarde 50%. Now this only really came down to a move that I never accounted for, which was Landorus having Outrage. So that was my biggest flaw this battle, and more to the point, no excuses, I still lost, of course. Congratulations to Grizzy on his win. He obviously played a great game, and with just how he was switching out and how I was just basically trying to play around this Pokemon, it did not end up any easier for me trying to play around it, of course, and that was my downfall, basically. So that's really all I can say about this match. There's not really much else I can really say. I guess it really came down to a confusion on the last turn. If he hit himself, Naganadel, apparently according to Grizzy, beat his team afterwards, but it's unfortunate anyway that I didn't play better, and it was definitely a tough game nonetheless. Even if it does say he beat me 3-0, we both kind of agreed that it was definitely a closer game than it looks. So with that out of the way, of course, we move on to the next match, which was the Galashilds Galvantulas versus the Garden City Golems, with Galashilds taking it as a 4-0 victory. Galashilds bringing the Mega Camera, Hippowdon, Garchomp, Mamoswine, Excadrill, and Seismitoad, while Garden City brought the Terrakion, Neoligo, Mega Diancie, Shuckle, Lycanroc, Dusk, and Midday, excuse me, and Cradily. Having fuck-ups, but anywho, this really came down to Panthers being unable to kill the Mega Camerupt, unfortunately, and that was really the name of the game. He missed a drill one with Lycanroc, and that definitely affected how this battle could have gone. I think more to the point, Panthers should have been a little bit more prepared for something like this. Definitely going against the ground type had its benefits, and obviously had no benefits in the end too, but I definitely think Panthers could have played this a lot better against Cruel Sea and his team. Additionally, this could have really went in his favor, but it didn't, unfortunately. I definitely think Panthers had the best approach with Sticky Web and Rocks and everything, but to set those up first turn against the ground type team, that could obviously sub, and then he could easily had a setup Garchomp or even a setup Excadrill that could have just ran through his team with Sand. It's very nice of Panthers not to bring the Tyranitar, because had he brought it and Sand was brought, that could have been a interesting game and an interesting feast for an Excadrill once again. But congratulations to the Galashilds for their 4-0 victory over Garden City. As we move on, we go to the Essex Excadrills and the Rochester Wreckbags, with Excadrills taking the 5-0 victory over the Wreckbags. Essex bringing the Mega Gallade, Metagross, Hoopa Unbound, Latios, Victini, Necrozma, while Rochester brought the Zapdos, Mega Ampharos, Alolan Golem, and Raichu, Galvantula, and Magnezone. This really just came down to I think it was a Thunderbolt or of some sort coming from Alolan Raichu on the Speed type versus Mega Gallade, and it did not kill. I think it was close to killing, I believe, or something of that sort. But
yeah, it's like 5% left. Yeah. Something like that.
Mega Gallade definitely got up a Swords Dance and just plowed through this team. We had a Stealth Rock kill. We had Metagross killing the Alolan Golem. It went out and came back in at some point, died to Heat Wave from Zapdos, and then it was the Mega Glacier after that. That's really all you could really say about this. If the Mega Gallade died, we could have had more of a competitive match. I think it was Raichu and either Ampharos or Magnezone left against the 4 other Mons, which I guess wouldn't have been that competitive in a sense, but it still could have been a better game than just a 5-0. But still, congratulations to Essex on their final victory over Rochester. This was definitely a lopsided game once that Gallade got set up and didn't die. And as we move on with the last 2 matches, and Tori will be talking about those, we have the Johto Joltix versus the Baltimore Bisharps, with Johto taking a forward victory. Tori, tell them about it.
Yes, Johto bringing the Blacephalon, the Golurk, Gengar, Jellicent. That is Jellicent, yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Fuck, I'm forgetting that Pokemon's name.
What, Oricorio?
Yeah, Oricorio Sensu. I was remembering the Sensu part, but not the first part. And Dusclops. Baltimore bringing the Mega Scizor, Armaldo, Rabombi, Heracross, Scolipede, and the Combi. That Combi, it tried. It tried its best.
Scolipede.
I did.
You said Scoliopede.
Yeah. Scoliopede, yeah. And yeah, but yeah, that Combi, yeah. Yeah, Johto definitely had Baltimore's number the entire time, bringing in the Fire Punch Golurk, which... as you saw, I got 3 kills, and then the Flamethrower, Flame Charge Blacephalon. Once it was getting its Beast Boost, it was basically game over. I think, though, Baltimore definitely had some tricks up his sleeve that could have worked. They had the ring target and stuff that would have at least taken down at least one Pokemon, and could have, played around with that at some point. It was just Johto was just dialed in, and Baltimore really couldn't do much about it. Kind of a lopsided victory in my opinion, but I think both teams played fairly well. Johto just was like, you know what? I'm going to set some bugs on fire.
Yep.
Yep, that's basically it. And moving on to a less lopsided battle, for sure, would be the Orange Ink Octilleries versus Ecoville Qualavas. As you can see, it's a 1-0 victory. And
can we just pause for a second just to say this shouldn't have been that close? I just want to throw that out there. This is the Fairy type versus the Dark type. I want everybody to know if they couldn't tell. I just want to throw that out there because I got really pissed off about this match. Continue, Tori.
Yes, Orange Ink bringing the Grand Bull, the Togetic, the Tapu Koko, the Klefki, the Mega Mawile, and Clefable. Ecoville bringing Greninja, Weavile, Drapion, Bisharp, Alolan Persian, and Mandibuzz.
And it should read that Granbull did die. It was Togetic that was left last with the last.
Oh yeah, oops,
thing.
forgot.
But
Yeah,
it's all good. It's all good. But I just wanted to throw that. I just noticed it right now, so it's all good though. But yeah. Continue.
Yeah, yes. Like this was, despite the fact that it was Fairy versus Dark, it was a very close battle. Both teams played their damnedest, and like Jaden though they had the type disadvantage, got it down right to the wire, definitely taking advantage of any poison and steel weaknesses that he could find. But bulky Togetic was able to hang on and take out, I think it was Greninja was the last thing standing on Jaden's team, and basically took the victory. But yeah, it was ridiculously close. Like, ridiculously close. And yeah.
Yeah, certainly this could have been a better game for Jaden. He had the disadvantage the whole time, but he still played his heart out.
Yeah. Go you.
Still though, don't underestimate yourself, Orange Ink, but you did still play with a victory this time. We'll see what happens next week against your opponent, but congratulations nonetheless.
Oh,
and
yes.
for the last game that recently happened as of our recording, being recorded right now at, if I'm right, it is 12. Actually, it is now Wednesday. But moving on.
Yes. We have the Nova Neuverns taking the 4-0 victory against Team Free Slurpees.
And before we read our Pokemon, it is only a Alolan Dug trio because Blue somehow thought he had a Scizor on his team. even though on his team page there's no Scizor located. So we allocated the death to the Alonda trio because I don't feel like just dropping a 6-0. Instead, I could have, but I'm just giving the benefit of the doubt this time. But continue, Tori.
Yes. Nova bringing the Mega Pidgeots, the Valley Ghost, Porygon 2, Beware, Diggersby, and Blissey. Blue bringing the Ferrothorn, Doublade, Magneton, Alolan Dugtrio, technically it's a Scizor, but we already went over that, Skarmory, and Heatran. So, yeah, Nova definitely was dialed in on the switches, definitely keeping the Mega Pidgeot alive, which was definitely very important, as you could see with the 5 kills it got, with both Hidden Power Ground and Heat Wave. Definitely having the no guard Heat Wave was definitely important because one miss could have ended that Pidgeot's life. But yeah, in general,
but it couldn't have missed.
That is very true. But if it didn't have no guard,
true,
then there was the chance, and that has happened. I think that happened last week. Someone got Heat Wave misses.
Heat Wave misses. I think that was still Blue. I think Blue missed against Grizzy last week, which you guys didn't get to see, but you'll see the replays, don't worry.
Oh yes. But yeah, definitely Nova was like here to win, and Blue just couldn't really do much of anything, which was unfortunate. Like, he spent almost half the game trying to kill the Mega Pidgeot, but it just kept roosting and living, and there's a lot of whirlwinding on both sides, but Noah was able to use that better to his advantage, and yeah,
trying to make a dent on that team was very hard, though. Blue could have brought other Pokemon to this match to help him. Oh Jesus, I don't know what that was, but Blue could have made better decisions during this match, and definitely could have brought Magearna or anything else. They could definitely this was definitely one of those weird games where it's like, it took, I want to say 28 turns for something to die. So this is a highly competitive match, but at the same time, it could have been an easy win for Blue if he had just tried maybe a different strategy. I don't know what he's going for, but still a good game to Nova for their 4-0 victory, of course.
Oh yeah.
So moving on, we have the predictions, and obviously you don't see spectators because the spectators decided, you know what, 2 out of 7 of us we're just gonna respond. So not a lot of people responded, so I'm just gonna take it out. Maybe I'll give it back next week because I just if you're not gonna respond, then why did you ask? However, even if you want to spectate, that's fine, you can still spectate, but don't ask me about predictions. I'll just try it next week. So Tori and I are getting closer in our overall section. I went 3-3 while Tori went 4-2, and I'm 8-4 overall while she is 5-7. And this was a weird week, but we have a few things to do, and this is the first time I'm ever doing this, and I'll do this during my slides, of course. Trades. So trades and free agency this week after the standings, of course, but let's just go over standings, of course, So Johto is on top, of course, at 2-0 and +9, well deserved. Twin Leaf is 2-0 as well at +7. The Galashio Galvantulas are at 2-0 +6. Oranging Artillery at 2-0 +3. While right behind them, despite having that 1-1 record, the Essex Excadrills are also +3. Nova rounds out the bottom, or the top 6, I guess you could say, at 1-1 -1, while Garden City is right below them at 1-1 -1, and Wreck Bags of the Rochester variety are at 1-1 -2, rounding out the top 8. And now we get to the bottom 4. Eagleville at 0-1 0-2 really, -4, excuse me, a few hiccups here and there. Sub-Zero, my team, of course, 0-2 -5. Baltimore at 0-2 -7. And Team Free Slurpees at the bottom at 0-2 -8. Of course, we're going to try and see who will get their first victory in week 3, which we'll talk about in a minute. But like I said, trades and free agency. The Galashio Galvantulas are giving up their Clado for Rhydon, while the Eagleville Quillavs will be giving up Weavile for Incineroar. Please keep in mind that I got these from Ferret Turret, which will be a link in the description, of course. and they don't have all of the regular sprites, so I had to use Shiny Incineroar. So I think it's gens 5 through 7. I think they don't have the regular sprites for, so I have to use the shiny ones, which they're still good sprites. They're very high quality. I definitely recommend using them if you want to have quality sprites. So, moving on, we get to our predictions for Week 3. So, it's Baltimore versus Shields in this first matchup, and we're both predicting Shields. Why? Not just because of the 2-0 and 0-2 records, because, good lord, picking up that Rhydon did improve my decision making. Rhydon being a rock type can definitely help out taking a lot of this team to the grave, but of course, you know, obviously Tep is a well-versed battler with a Mega Scizor, and even with Pokemon that can get Giga Drain, like Excelgor and Yanmega, and also, I think Volcarona and Araquanid round that out. Obviously having fighting types and a fighting type stab, or just moves in general, he has Heracross and even something like a super power Scizor. And Armaldo, I believe, gets one. And other Pokemon that can definitely defeat Rhydon in general. But I definitely think that Sand will be coming this week. As we all know, when Sand comes in Shields, we usually see a really good sweep involved. And I definitely think that, given how Shields has played throughout these past 2 weeks, there will be no way that if Tep wins this battle, it's going to be a hard-fought win. And I don't exactly not believe in Tep, but I also think that the Shields have been playing excellently this season. So definitely going to be a match to see. Tori?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think I think I made my decision before the Rhydon pick, but I think definitely Galaxy has been playing very well and just has a lot of power behind his team. Yeah, definitely Sand might come in, or most likely will come in, take Baltimore, and then we also have the friggin' Mega Camerupt that, you know, blew through the opponent last week, might come again and blow through Baltimore this week. But yeah, I think it's going to be a hard-fought battle if the Baltimore's going to win, but I think Shields has the upper hand for sure.
Oh, most certainly. We move on to the next match this week. We have Essex versus Team Free Slurpees. Originally, Tori and I were on the Team Free Slurpees side before we saw the last match. And I can fairly explain why we switched. From a very basic standpoint, Essex has been playing better since they got their Mega Gallade sweep against Rochester, but overall, Blue doesn't seem to be all the way there when it comes to his first 2 weeks. Maybe Blue will turn around this week, who knows? I definitely think that though Blue has the advantage having the Steel type, and it resists it does resist Psychic, and can also just, he could throw in Trick Room and can even defeat this team really handily if he focuses. Even though Essex can reverse it, it can still be a very hard game for both of them if one decides to bring Trick Room. Despite all this, having that Tapu Lele and even having that Mew, you know, Medium Z, Tapu Lele, Second Terrain, and just having that really potent offensive core, and having even Mega Gallade there, can definitely help swoon me to say this is going to be an easy game if Essex were to bring the Victini or the Mega Gallade, or even have a really cool weakness policy, agility, Metagross set. I'm just throwing things out there, of course, as always, but you never know if they ever come in the match. I definitely think Blue could get right back on track with this match if he focuses, but we have yet to be surprised yet since we picked Blue for 2 straight weeks, so this could be different. Tori?
Yeah, definitely, like, when I was just looking at the teams on their faces, I definitely was more inclined to pick Blue, but I think Essex has definitely shown that, at least last week, definitely showed that they're still, like, you know, in the game, and Essex just has, I think, a better battling strategy in general, at least in comparison to Blue the past 2 weeks. I think Blue, if, you know, gets his shit together, this might be a different story. We both will be eating crow at the next week's video, but as of right now, it looks like Essex is more ready to take on Blue and more, like, willing to, you know,
they're more well prepared, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But moving on to the next battle, we have Garden City versus Rochester. Now, this was a hard one to pick, and obviously I was going to pick Rochester, but this came really more or less down to the fact that Pantros has the advantage here. You're probably saying, but Incog, how? looking at Rochester's team, there's no way they can break through a sand team that has the Spadef boost for rock types. That's all I'm going to say. Because unless Rochester figures some shit out that I don't understand, this team's really hard to break. Magnezone could come and definitely be a threat to Garden City, but given that there are a lot of types on this team that can break through this team and overall coverage moves, this will be an easy win for Garden City in my opinion. But Rochester, color me surprised if you actually do win. Tori?
Yeah, it's basically my same thought, is that Garden City just has more options with coverage, and definitely sand is like, it's going to come into play for sure for this one, and just Garden City just has that sort of advantage. And yeah, I just think Garden City is going to take it. It's more than likely going to happen.
Yeah, it just feels like it. I love Juan to death, but Panthers might have this. But moving on to the last three matches, obviously Tori will take over first. We have my team, the Sub-Zero Syndicals, versus the Nova Noiverns. Tori, why'd you pick me in this match?
Yes, I mostly picked you because just looking at Nova's team, I don't really see any, like, there isn't dual stab that's effective against Dragon, for one thing, and then Dragon, the team, that's just powerful team. I think that definitely Kamo, that's Kamo, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely going to probably come in, fighting type, kick some butt. But yeah, I mean, I think it's more than likely going to be a close match, but I think Nova definitely played fairly well last week. I just think that you're going to win because it's you have a stronger team. You have more options when it comes to attack, getting at Nova, but Nova has, I guess, less options when it comes to, Dragon and Ice and Fairy type moves, I guess, in my opinion.
Right. Additionally, I definitely think that this is going to be a close game. I was going to pick Nova at first, but it feels as if, like, if my team gets started, it won't end. Obviously, I have a lot of setup Pokemon, but with King's team, more or less, he has Ice Beam coverage on several things, even him per Ice too. I think Meloetta gets Dazzling Gleam, don't quote me on that. And I think as well, Blissey gets it, don't quote me on that either. Obviously being a Fairy type or even a Dragon or Ice type Silvally will be good. And this could be a very close game in my opinion, just because he has a lot of fat Mons and Mons that can obviously power through my team if given the option. I'm not saying that King isn't going to win this game, but it's definitely going to be a very close game, and it could definitely sway in his favor if mistakes are made on my part. But I definitely will be picking myself. I'm not going to be humble here. I think I can win this match. Knock on wood. But next match we have to talk about is the Eagleville Quillavas versus the Twilly Teddy Ursus, and Tori picked Grizzy over Jaden, which I never thought I'd ever see since Jaden was her golden goose last season. But why did you pick Grizzy?
That is very true. I'm sorry, Jaden. But I think the past 2 weeks, I think Grizzy has shown a better battling strategy, I think, and Eagleville has shown it's maybe not so great. I mean, this is kind of tough for me, definitely, because it's Grizzy's a friend and Jaden's it is my boy. But I think, yeah, Twinleaf has been able to seal the deal twice in both battles, and Eagleville hasn't. And I just think Twinleaf in general has, better options to take on Eagleville. I do think that Eagleville's choice in drafting Incineroar was definitely a good choice against some of the Mons on Twinleaf's team. But I just think, Grizzy, I believe in you.
Yeah, definitely. But for me, as I like to say, there's an upset alert. I think that Jaden has had enough of losing. Jaden's going to have a rough time against his team, though. He might bring that Protean Greninja, and he obviously switched out his Ice type for an Incineroar. a fire type, obviously. But I think Jin will definitely use the Intimidate ability of Incineroar, and even he won't bring Scrap to this match, I don't think. But the Intimidate ability of Incineroar should be enough to handle certain mons. And most certainly, I think Jin will do better than I will against something like even a Choice Scarfed Hammer Arm, which would be counterintuitive technically. But even then, Choice Scarf, Hammer Arm, Landorus could come to this match. So Jaden, look out for that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But seriously though, upset alert in my opinion. I definitely think that this will be a not so close match. One team will just break away and they will tear another team apart. Whether it's Jaden or Grizzy, I can only say it's gonna be Jaden in this scenario. Excuse me, ooh, my body. But no, seriously, Grizzy has a good team, but if Jaden can get up rocks and can definitely do some work with even Hydreigon or Greninja or anything, this could be a tough game for Grizzy to win. But you know, Grizzy's been playing great though, I will say. Grizzy's my boy, but Jaden, I'm getting you on that upset alert. But we get to the last week, or last battle of this week. Of course, we have Johto versus Orange Ink, and we have both picked Johto. And let me just start off here before Tori starts to explain why. This is the battle of the 2-0s, and I definitely think that Dark is the stronger 2-0 for many reasons, given how the battles have gone for Orange Ink. But I'll explain it a little bit later. But Tori, why did anyone pick Johto here?
Yeah, I thought this was definitely difficult for me to pick because while I love the fairy type, and I love both types, and I think that both teams have played very well. I think that Johto just has a lot more options. They have the Gengar and the Aegislash, and then they have the bulk in like Jellicent, and that's just basically it. That's all I could really think of. But I think that Johto in general playing very well. It has definitely a lot of options to play with. Have the Goaler come in again and knock some heads. We have the Mimikyu that could Swords Dance and start running a train. We have Dusclops that could Pain Split and just be annoying and just sit there. And then we have stuff like the Slephalon could, I don't know, do a sacrifice. What was it? Mind Blown?
Mm-hmm.
Although that's probably not going to happen, but I mean, you know, could. But yeah, I think in general, Johto just has a better arsenal. I think Orange Ink, though, can bring in the hurt, and I think it'll be a close match in general. Yeah, I think Johto's going to get it.
Yeah, I would agree, but I think it's not going to be a close match. The stronger of the 2-0s here is Johto. Johto has been playing excellently, and I don't think Orange Ink is going to be as lucky as they were to win their first two games. I'll admit, you know, I could have won the first game, and definitely Jaden could have won the second game. But this will be a true test if you're really a great 2-0 team, if you're deserving of this undefeated record. This will be a really good test, because Dark is really good. His team has offensive threats out the ass. Aegislash, Bucephalon, even Hoopa Confined could come to this match. Mimikyu, you know, he took that from you. He took the fairy type from you, basically. And even having good defensive tanks in even Golurk, Dusclops, Mega Banette sometimes even being a good Will-O-Wisp and such. Jellicent at certain points. Even having good mons for Destiny Bond shit for like Frostlass and Gengar is really good. This is going to be a tough match for Orange Ink. And if they can't get it together and try and pull away when they really should be pulling away at certain points, Johto's going to take this right under your feet. And I definitely think that he has the team to win this match. He obviously has the Aegislash that could hard wall a lot of your team. And he has the Mega Banette that could easily just burn things like a Tapu Bulu, which I don't think should be coming, but Tapu Bulu, Mega Mawile burned, you know, Azumarill burned, you know. So many Pokemon could suffer in this match just because of not being aware of what you should be doing and not having that good awareness anyways. So it's going to be a tough match in the first place. But we will see, obviously. So that's going to do it for our week 2 review and week 3 preview of the Monotype Battle Association. Obviously, this was a little bit, you know, on the, you know, just, I guess we kind of had our, you know, our mess ups here and there. We haven't recorded in a while, so excuse us for those, and obviously editing stuff. But just to reiterate, guys, or reiterate. Iterate. All right, just reiterate. All the week 1 matches will be in the description. They'll be labeled. All the week 2 matches will be in the description. They will be labeled. And yeah, we'll just try to keep up with videos and stuff, guys. Sometimes things come up, of course. And hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a like, comment, and also subscribe today. For me and Tori, we'll be saying goodbye.
Bye-bye.
And we'll talk to you guys later.